Welcome back to Mock Draft Madness. Day 54. Tomorrow is the NFL Draft. I'm so excited. So today we are going to give you something a little bit special. We're going to be doing a 3-round mock today. Dobbs is going to be selecting for odds. I'm going to be selecting for evens. If you don't know ball and want to know ball, be sure to subscribe. Leave a like. Let me know in the comments your favorite and least favorite pick from this mock draft. Since we've done about 53 first-round mock drafts, there's been some 2-round mocks in there. We're not going to spend a whole ton of time talking about each pick that we make in the first round. Obviously, this is going to be our first third-round mock. I just think we should do it just because, obviously, the draft is tomorrow. So, Dobbs, with number 1, who are you going to be taking?
No explanation needed. We're taking Caleb Williams.
Easy selection. I'm going to go Jaden Daniels. I think just with the talk that's been around the NFL, I haven't heard anything opposite, and I think I kind of have a feeling what's going to happen 1, 2, 3, 4.
No, I totally agree, bro. I totally agree. All right, so yeah, all right, so and then I can tell you right away, you know where I'm going with this one too. Again, I don't think that they even necessarily are going to have to trade up. Again, I don't think that that's what I don't think they're going to want to give up the capital necessary. Although it's possible. Like the Vikings could shoot up right here, but I just don't know if again that's what they're going to do. I feel like the Patriots are going to want to stick and pick with Drake May. We're going to take Drake May off the board right here at number 3.
Yeah, I think the Patriots are kind of locked into taking a quarterback, whether that is Drake May or JJ McCarthy. I still think they're favoring Drake May. I think there is also a solution where the Vikings could trade up, and then there's almost like a secondary deal locked in place where the Patriots are able to move back up and get McCarthy, because I do think that there is a chance that the Giants make a move for McCarthy.
No, definitely.
So, number 4, I'm going to go Marvin Harrison Jr. to the Cardinals. I think the Chargers are much more likely trade out candidate, especially if JJ's the one left on the board.
No, yeah, and yeah, no, very much so. And yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, so we got the Chargers on the board at number 5.
Do you think
Yeah,
they're
you know
trading
what?
out?
I'm gonna pull the trigger on it. We're trading out.
Okay.
Because I've definitely read multiple reports. That's what they're the route they'd be aiming to go. Again, with these reports, you take it with a grain of salt and you apply what you would do, what you also would be thinking yourself. This is what I
Right.
would be thinking myself applied with that grain of salt. So we're gonna do a little swap here. Yeah, we're gonna trade with the Vikings.
Okay.
And again, we've heard the Vikings are prepared to move quote unquote heaven and earth
I think that was
to
for Drake May, but I still think
yeah.
they're going to have to move quite a bit.
No, that was that. Now I say that was for Drake May, but yeah, I think you're still gonna have to move a lot to get to this slot. And if I'm the Chargers, you're probably saying at least I need at least both those first round picks, and then it gets a little because after that, I feel like you wouldn't have to give up really that much because that is a pretty, I mean, that's pretty fair for both teams already. But we know the QB tax. I feel like they'd say, especially because, got a couple of third rounders in there. I'd say, let me get Detroit off your hands as well, that 129, if I'm the Chargers.
All right, let's offer that trade. It is approved, and the Vikings are on the clock, and I'm assuming they're going to take JJ.
Oh, yeah. They're taking JJ off the board right here, getting their apparently second choice. But, maybe it's all just been smoke with Drake May. Maybe JJ's the guy all along. Guess we're going to find out tomorrow.
I'm going to go Malik Neighbors to the New York Giants. If they're not able to get J.J. McCarthy, I think they're looking to add a weapon at the wide receiver. I also have heard a couple things about them being a sneaky team for O-line, maybe even like going right tackle or trading back. I think they're more likely to stick and pick and take a weapon in Malik Neighbors, but I wouldn't be surprised if they did go O-line.
No, no, definitely would not be at all either. All right, so for pick 7, again, this one's easy every time it's available to me. Just no overthinking necessary. We're the Titans. We desperately need trenches. We got to help Will Levis, and Joe Alt's sitting right here for us. What a dream scenario.
So easy. So this is where I get a little bit nervous as a Bears fan is at 8, the Falcons could very well take their guy, right? But I also think it's a reality that they could trade back and still get one of the top defensive players and allow a team to come up for Rome. Now, I don't know who that would be, whether that would be maybe even the Jets or the Colts, honestly, scare me the most. But at number 8, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take Byron Murphy here.
Okay. I love that pick always.
I think he's probably one of the best defensive linemen in this draft.
No, you know he's my guy. He's my guy. All right, and then so for the Bears at number 9, it's crazy. Because again, we know what we just read, where
I hated it.
apparently
I hated it.
apparently the Bears could be going the O line route, which me personally, that's the route I would love. But I'm gonna say I do believe, especially after what we've seen recently, the way that the Bears are trying to really build this team around Caleb. I'll say, and again, as much as it goes against my normal philosophy. I think, Caleb dropping hints, you're building a team around Caleb. I'm saying, I think if Rome is sitting here at number 9, I think there's a real good shot the Bears are going to pull the trigger on that. That's going to be the direction I'm going to go right here. And I know Caleb is approving of this. So if no one else is, at least I know Caleb's on my side on this one.
Rome to the Chicago Bears. At number 10, I have the New York Jets. I'm back and forth with them. I do think they could take Brock Bowers. I do think they could take an offensive lineman. I just think, like, if you're looking at the draft board and you know Brock Bowers is here and your next pick isn't till 72,
Yup.
it's going to be Brock.
Yeah,
I just think,
yup.
I just think that's the easy selection.
No, for sure, for sure. And I know, every report has said that they're going to lean pass catcher. Again, back to take it with a grain of salt, but it makes the most sense.
Number 11 to the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right. And we know about how the Chargers like to build things, right? We know that they're trenches. They're trenches. And he's my guy. He's sitting right here. You traded down. You still got fantastic value. Not much explanation, necessary, really. I'm saying we're taking Talise Fuaga off the board, and we don't have to think much about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, adding a right tackle opposite of Rashawn Slater, we know how Jim Harbaugh wants to build his team, and it fits right in with what they want. So I did see an interesting pick here. And mind you, because it is a 3-round pick, a 3-round mock, like obviously late round picks are going to matter. So I'm going to actually replicate what I saw in the Daniel Jeremiah mock because I think it makes a lot of sense. So I'm not going to pick the same player, but I think maybe the idea of the Eagles trading up here. So we'll do a swap. We'll give them pick 53 for 12. And then they gave them a late round pick. I think it was a 5th rounder. I'm just going to stick with the 22 and 53 for 12. That sounds fair?
No, I was going to say that sounds completely reasonable.
Because the Eagles still have 50 as their 2nd round pick. So
no, exactly. That pick from NOLA.
So I'm going to go Terrion Arnold here at 12, and they're going to get the best corner in the draft.
All right. I love that.
At 13 to the Raiders.
You know what, bro? I'm switching up a little bit here, but it's because, we've seen a lot of reports, dude, and I think I'm really leaning more towards it because we know the QB tax. There's pressure. There's kind of been like pressure placed on the Raiders to make this pick now. We've seen, there's been a lot of discussion about it publicly. He's made it clear it's where he wants to go, and it's I like or not. No, I'm mistaken. It's not where he wants to go, but I know there's been a lot of like talk about it if they don't go, if Jaden Daniels is not available, and that's where I do believe the more we look into this, I think the Raiders are going to be thinking QB.
Yeah.
And again, I think you look at it and you say it's a reach, but at the same time, I think I'm going to lean where we see more QBs go in the first round than we expected. And with this pick right here, again, I don't think he's going to be available with your 2nd round pick as we move forward throughout this process. The more and more I think about it, the more and more reports I read, I'm going to say we're taking Michael Penix off the board here early. But the reality of the situation is I think it makes plenty of sense.
So don't be surprised. So Austin or Bad Takes Feud, he's like an insider that I kind of follow. And I had him on the channel once. We just talked Bears because he's a Bears fan. He tweeted today 6 QBs going in round 1. And he's been on point with a lot of shit. And he's probably one of my favorite low-key insiders next to Pretty Ricky. So shout out Bad Takes Fuge, but he thinks that 6 quarterbacks are going to go in the first round. And if Penix goes at 13, Dobbs, I do think it is a likely chance that Bo Nix may go to the Broncos at their next selection.
Oh, dude, I'm already starting to lean that. The more and more that I watch Bo Nix, the more I say to myself, like, this could really be one of this is kind of a Sean Payton guy. Like, this is someone Sean Payton would definitely be able to make some stuff work with.
I am going to give the Saints Olu Fashanu. I just think they would be a very good fit.
I no, we desperately need pass protecting, and I think you know what? I'm fine taking on another kind of project guy because the reality is, look, Penning didn't work out, but I'm much higher on Olu than I was on Penning, and regardless, so much higher on his pass protecting ceiling. We need to protect whoever's back there, whether it's Carr in the future, whoever else it's going to be. I would not mind seeing Olu right here.
15 to the Colts.
All right. So I'm already starting to like think like, what direction are we going to go here? Because now that Brock Bowers is off the board, the Colts definitely are one of these teams that could go, a lot of different directions. But I'll tell you this. Again, a lot of the reports have been saying this is a guy who's going to go a lot earlier than people have been saying. I had him as a top 15 talent. And so in a poetic sense, it's only right I take him off the board right here at pick 15 and solidify it. I'm going to say whether he's playing corner or whether he's playing safety, you're getting yourself a hell of a football player. I'm going to say we're taking Cooper DeJean off the board right here to the Colts.
I did see a report today that said Cooper DeJean is going to go a lot higher than people think.
Oh, and I've been kind of preaching this for a while now where it's like, hold on a minute. Even though Coop is maybe not a corner, he's a hell of a football player, and I would play him at safety any day. I'm sure a lot of teams on their draft board in terms of like just pure value. I don't think he's on. It's probably top 15 on a lot of teams.
16 to the Seattle Seahawks. Normally, I think trading back potentially for an interior offensive lineman might be the move. But if this one accepted, if Troy Fautanu is on the board, I think you can safely take him at 16. So that is what I'm going to do here.
Okay, I love that. Again, and Troy's one of those guys I've said too. Like I was even said the other day, if he even somehow finds his way in the top 10, I really would not be too surprised to a team like the Jets or something.
Jets are a perfect spot for him.
Like Troy could go as early as possible, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Number 17 to the Jaguars.
All right, and it's interesting now because there's so many routes. What do I want to do with this? Like, where do I want to go with this one? But you know what? I feel like it only makes sense. It, uh, if we're the Jags, I think we're saying again as much as you did add to the D line this offseason, but you still need your rotational pieces. You still need your guys for when you're in your base 3-4. And I think, again, a guy who's going to excel in this role, a guy who I think is going to go earlier in the consensus, he could go even much earlier in this. You remember from Rocky the other day, I'm taking Latu off the board right here.
That would be a dirty combo. Dirty rotation.
You can, because with Trayvon, you can play him on the outside, 20 snaps a game, play him on the inside 20 snaps. When Latu's not on the field, you play him on the outside, and then when he is, you play him on the inside. You can do a lot of nasty stuff with this package.
100%. Oh, wait, why was I blanking? For some reason, I was like, has Talise Fuaga fallen? And then I forgot he went at the Chargers. So, at number 18.
That trade down got you stuck.
Bro, I was confused. 18 to the Bengals. They have a lot of good options here. They could go Jerzon Newton. They could add a Dallas Turner. They could add a Jared Verse. Man, I do think that, honestly, getting a guy like... Okay. I'm between Jerzon Newton and J.C. Latham.
See, I'll say this. I think if you're trying to compete this year, especially now that we know the Trey Hendrickson trade is on the table, I feel like if you're trying to compete this year steadily, I would say Jerzon would be the more like reasonable pick.
Couldn't you argue also taking like Jared Verse as an edge?
No, you definitely. That's the thing. Here, you know me, where it's like, and if you didn't already, like I think my thing is, I don't really talk about it that much, just because for some reason I kind of glaze over it. But I've said multiple times, like just here and there. I think Jerzon Newton, potentially, as much as I love Byron Murphy, this guy could be the best interior player in the class. And you know how high I'm on Byron Murphy. So it's like, whether you're getting pass rush help no matter what with Jerzon Newton or Jared Verse, and they both are in that same kind of archetype where, they use like power to win, but they also have a lot of finesse. But yeah, to your point, you also, you could, because I think Dallas Turner wouldn't fit as much in that defense. So I would say I would have it between Jerzon, JC or Jared. Pick your poison on this one.
I'm gonna go Jerzon.
I like it. I like it. I do like it.
19 to the Rams.
And then this one makes my pick pretty easy here. because I was already thinking it, in advance. And I think he would definitely excel in this defense. This is one of the few, not few, but this is one of those schemes where Dallas Turner really could flourish. I would love to see Dallas Turner off the board right here to this Rams defense if possible. And yeah, you got to replace that AD firepower somehow, even though you're not obviously the same position. But, adding that firepower back to that D line, probably definitely going to be priority one for the Rams.
20 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. I think this is pretty simple. That's going to be J.C. Latham.
Yeah, I
Although
love
I
that
will
one right
say
there.
this, obviously tackle, wide receiver, center are like the big needs. They also need corner. TJ Watt and Cameron Hayward are getting older. Like people don't take that into like I don't think they'll take one round one, but like something that we got to be aware of is like that's going to be a position of need at some point. Cuz
No, it absolutely is.
yeah.
Like that's why I was saying with the Jerzon Newton pick. I saw some comments. Shouts to the Steelers fans. They had my back. They were saying like, I wouldn't mind the pick at all.
No. So now we're at 21 with the Dolphins.
All right, and I'm gonna say I think this one's pretty easy for me here with the way the board has fallen. I'm gonna say comfortably, let me take Graham Barton off the board right here. So desperately need to fill out that interior. Love Graham's skill set. Again, you could play him anywhere, but you can start him right now in the interior, and that's exactly what we're gonna do.
22 to the Broncos, Bo Nix. There are 6 quarterbacks gone in the first round now.
That is crazy, but I love it.
23 to the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right, and then to the Chargers. I think if you're the Chargers, all of a sudden, you're in a great position where you really got two potential, I mean, just studs in this year's draft. Because we're taking the high ceiling Quinyon Mitchell off the board right here when
Oh,
we
that's
desperately,
great.
so desperately need a corner.
That's great. That's a great pick. You get, a staple O lineman, and then you get a great corner. Maybe corner one in the draft, depending on who you ask.
In terms of upside, honestly, in terms of pure upside, I would say he still is. It's just again, in terms of floor, we're taking Carrion, but like with that upside, I'm taking Quinyon.
24 to the Dallas Cowboys. I do think they are a prime candidate for a trade back team, because I just think they lost a lot of players in free agency and really didn't sign many. So Dobbs, what do you think about this trade? Giving the trading up with the Panthers.
I think I love
They
it.
can go get Brian Thomas Jr.
See, I think I love it. I'm all for it.
So what do you think we'd have to give up? So I think we could give them pick 33, obviously. And then I don't know with the I don't want to give maybe a third, maybe we give them 65.
Say 65, and then I would also be saying you gotta give me that 141 from the Giants.
Okay, and then maybe we can get back like 187 or like a third. No, I would say maybe 87. So
It's tough because I would say even it's or yeah, no, that's probably the most realistic. Because I would say like 174, but if it's
yeah.
like because 87 might be asking a little much in that it's like if you're the Cowboys, I feel
Right,
like
there's no middle ground. Like there's nowhere to go.
I mean, yeah, if you're the Panthers, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's like I don't I feel like I'm comfortable with that. I think that's
All
good
right.
value. I like it.
Obviously, this is not 100% correct, but it is something that, we're just kind of trying to move the teams around and see what it would look like. And with that, I am going to give them Brian Thomas Jr. at 24, another weapon for Bryce.
All right. That's a fun one right there.
25 to the Packers.
All right. And then to the Packers,
And
this one's interesting now because I could definitely all of a sudden I could go a lot of routes with the Packers. Your question really is just which route do I want to go? But eh, you know, I think I'm going to say this. If you're the Packers, you desperately need a DB. You don't want to take a risk. And there's one of my guys sitting here right here who, I'm a real big fan of. But then also, you know, at the same time, you also really need to go interior O line, and you could really get yourself one of my guys. So I'm going to pivot from my initial direction. I'm going to say We're going to take JPJ off the board right here to the Packers.
Well, you've left me with the easiest pick ever, Jared Verse to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
It's crazy how that this keeps
It
happening.
always
Like,
happens.
no, this is crazy.
27 to the Cardinals.
All right, into the Cardinals, and I say it over and over, and I love him because he's available for me, and he's grown on me. I keep saying if you're the Cardinals, you so desperately need to fill out that interior O line, or even if Jonah Williams doesn't come in and play good, you're gonna have to worry about that right tackle. You're getting a guy who can fill out both of those needs, where you can play him wherever you want to play him. We're taking Jordan Morgan off the board right here at pick 27, bro. We're not thinking twice about it.
I like that. Definitely a little bit more surefire than what Amarius Mims could be.
No, yeah, I think, dude, I would definitely love to see Jordan Morgan come up the board right here.
28 to the Buffalo Bills. I'm actually not going to go receiver here. I do think that they need, I don't know. I don't think that they necessarily need to add a corner in the first. I do think wide receiver is probably one of the bigger needs. So if we look, I want to take a look at the Bills um, depth chart. So we got Spencer Brown. He's 26. He plays right tackle. Deion Dawkins signed his extension. For some reason, it says they need tackle. And I knew that was weird because I was like, I don't know. They don't strike me as a tackle team. And I like the idea of Amarius Mims, but maybe not right now. I mean, just looking at the teams that are kind of staring me in the face, or the players that are kind of staring me in the face, it's almost like you kind of have to take A.D. Mitchell, right? Like,
I was gonna say, I think that would be, with the way the board is falling now, that would be the route I think that they might go.
yeah, I took A.D. Mitchell. 29
God,
to
I
the
love it.
Lions.
And then to the Lions right here, you know what? I'm gonna say, we could bank on the upside, but here's the thing. The reality situation is the Lions do like to run a lot of man. And with Nate, I think I view him much more as like a zone heavy, a guy you want to play in more of a zone heavy scheme. But with my guy Kool-Aid over here, like I always say, very versatile, very not scheme dependent. We can throw him in the fire wherever, and I think I'm very comfortable with him. With that said, we're going to take Kool-Aid off the board right here to the Lions at pick 29.
So that leaves me in an interesting place with the Ravens because you could get Nate Wiggins or you could get Amarius Mims. And I think either at 30 would be a great, great spot. So I know the Ravens have talked about playing like Daniel Falele at right tackle, or because Ronnie Stanley's at left tackle, right? They're playing him he's at left. I'm 99% sure.
No, yeah.
Because I'm thinking like the Ravens are in a tough spot because like they're gonna be competing every year. Yeah, Daniel Falele is at right tackle. Do you want to ride with him? I understand he's only 24, but he was a fourth round pick. Or do you want to upgrade your corner room immediately? This is like I think Amarius Mims as a player can be better in the NFL, but Nate Wiggins is a great player and would be great next to Marlon Humphrey.
I would say I think you're also probably getting more of the immediate impact from Nate, where it's like,
Yeah.
again, with Amarius, you just never know. Amarius is such a wild card, even though I
Yeah.
love how much I love his ceiling. Like I say, O lineman's dream, but there's definitely much more risk involved, even though there's definitely risk involved with Nate.
Yeah, I'm going to go Nate just because I think their corner room is a little bit more like immediate needs help.
No, absolutely.
31 to the San Francisco 49ers.
Well, it's only right that, you know what? Because I'm gonna be honest, it's actually a very tough choice though. Because, I want to take Amarius off the board, but I'm also really debating myself saying, like, I know the Niners crunched that Zach Frazier tape and for sure have him high on their board. And they need to fill, like, if you're the Niners, you still want to fill out that interior, like that one of your guard positions, if not both, potentially, long term. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go Zach Frazier here either. But I'm going to say, with, Trent getting older and the ceiling that Amarius Mims provides with a year behind Trent, I think I'm going to say that would probably be the route that maybe provides the most long-term boom if he ends up staying healthy. So I'm going to say we're going to take Amarius off the board right here at pick 31 to the
Oh,
Niners.
you screwed me. That's where I was going with the Chiefs. So I've been seeing a lot that the Chiefs are going tackle in the first round. And the last kind of guy available is Tyler Guyton, so that is where I'm going to go.
Okay. And what you can do with that too is it's like, because if you're in the same belief as me, I don't think Jawan Taylor's going to last out that whole contract in Kansas City, especially if he plays the same way he played last year again. So you get Guyton in there now, and you kind of even could just sit him, behind him this year. And then all of a sudden, if you got to start him next year, he's not going to be that same raw, well, hopefully, that same raw, one snap is great, but then the next snap is a mess kind of player that he is right now. So I like that.
33 to the Cowboys. What are we doing?
Dude, what are
They,
we doing
they
right
got
here?
they got picks 33, 56, and 65. They can really load up here.
You know what? I'm really loving this one. Oh, I'm loving this one. And it's kind of a wild card. No, it's not actually, because with this first one, I was gonna say, with this first one, I gotta play it safe. We're taking Zach Frazier off the board,
That's a
not
good
thinking much
pick.
about it. I was gonna because one of my guys I'm really thinking would fit so nice on this team, but I'm gonna wait and see if he's still available here for me, in a little bit.
I'm going to go Troy Franklin to the New England Patriots. They need more pass catchers, especially for Drake May to succeed and not ruin his development.
I like Troy. I like Troy over there to the Patriots.
35 to the Cardinals.
All right, dude. Let me think about this one for a second because what do I want to do here for the Cardinals?
Well,
What do I want
they
to do?
went tackle and they went wide receiver, so they loaded up on offense.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna say, dude, they so desperately need just all across the board at this position group. I'm so high on the man. It was one of the guys. I'll spoil it. Like he was who I wanted to go with the Cowboys. But again, it makes way more sense for them to have gone interior. Totally does. But if you're the Cardinals, Mike Samer's still sitting right here for you, and you know how much I love Mike Samer still. So love that pick right here for the Cardinals.
36 to the Washington Commanders. They went Jaden Daniels. Um, they're in an interesting spot here. I think actually they're one of the teams that might trade up into the back end of the first round and take a tackle because I hate their tackle situation. It is not very good. Um, they traded both their edge players, so I'm going to go ahead and give them Chop Robinson right here.
All right, I love that right there.
37 Los Angeles Chargers.
All right, and for the Chargers.
They took Talisa Fuaga and Quinyon Mitchell.
I think as much as I do want to do something fun and crazy, like say pairing up Keon Coleman with Justin Herbert, I'm going to say I
Oh,
think that they would want to go the safer option with a guy who you're pretty confident is going to be able to come in day one. And you know my thing about him. Third and short, you're going to have your guy with the more sure hands. I think Lad McConkey right here to the Chargers makes a lot of sense.
see, it's funny. I thought you were gonna go Braden Fisk to beef up that defensive interior.
Yeah, no, see, it's just the Chargers, I think, are going to be definitely one to get one of these receivers, because
Yeah.
if they don't go early. But, Braden would also be a fantastic selection.
So we went Joe Alt for the Titans first. They're in an interesting spot. I do think they could add. I don't. Actually, you know what I'm gonna do here? I am going to give them Ennis Rakestraw. I think Ennis Rakestraw is kind of he not I don't want to say polarizing. I just think there's some people that are high on him, some people that are low on him. I just think he is a good football player, and I think he can make an impact on the Titans.
No, personally, I love him. I've been saying he's going to be one of those guys that breaks the RAS mold. Definitely very high on him. So I love the pick.
39 to the Panthers. We had them trading up for Brian Thomas Jr.
All right. And it's funny, you were just talking about the man. It only makes sense that right here, we're going to take Braden Fisk off the board for the Panthers. Got it. We got to
Just
beef up that
beefing up that
interior.
interior. 40 to the Commanders. I think this is pretty easy. I'm going to go Kingsley Suamatia. They need tackle help. That's what I think they would trade into the first round for. 41 to the Green Bay Packers.
All right. What are we thinking here for the Packers? Because we went with the interior need earlier.
JPJ.
Yeah, JPJ. And then what am I thinking I want to do here?
I have one request.
What's that?
Let me go if he's there. Let me go safety at 58.
Wait, what do you mean? Like you're like, what?
I'm just
Like you're
saying,
saying?
don't go safety here.
No, I'm gonna be honest with
Okay,
you.
okay.
That's actually I because one of my guys is on the board right here, but I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like there's definitely some more guys you feel a little bit safer about that you could take right here. It's interesting though. Like there's a lot of routes we could go right here for the pack, man. But you know what? I'm gonna shock everyone here a little bit, maybe,
Oh
because
my.
he's one of these guys where again, I think he's gonna go much earlier than a lot of people have him expected to go, and especially the more you watch that UConn O line. Big shouts to Christian Haynes. We're double dipping. I'm going back to back on this interior O line.
Ooh, that's interesting. I am very I think that would be good because the Packers if we look at the Packers offensive line, it is Zach Tom, Sean Ryan, Josh Myers, Elton Jenkins, Rasheed Walker. Obviously, Sean Ryan, he's a third round pick in 2022, but I know Runyon was gone and they lost another interior guy as well. I forgot who it was, but they definitely need to build a little bit more on that interior. Um,
No, they have a
42.
lot of work to do, honestly. So I feel like you're getting good value.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I mean, like, you're going to get really, really good players.
I see. I love Christian Haynes. Like I think Christian Haynes is worthy of a top 45 pick. Like
42 to the Houston Texans. They need defensive interior help. They need linebacker. They need corner. Hmm. They have 59 as well. They could. I don't know. Does. Give me Peyton Wilson here.
that's like my go-to whenever this pick comes up, but it just makes the most sense.
Yeah, I mean, I think when healthy, he can be like really, really good for them.
No, I completely agree.
43 to the Falcons.
All right, I'm not going to overthink this one too much. One of my guys throughout this process, where I don't talk about him a lot, but I've been saying very high upside. Definitely think he has potential to end up being a 9, 10 plus sack guy a year down the road. Let me take Adisa Isaac off the board right here.
44 to the Raiders. We had them taking Michael Penix in the first round. They do need corner help. They need really just about everything. But also not. They're like one of those teams that isn't like horrible in any area besides like corner. So with that being said, I am going to give them TJ Tampa.
Ooh, I love it. That's not what I thought you were going to go, but I definitely love
Who
it.
do you think I was going to go?
I see. I don't know exactly where I thought you were going to go. I
Oh,
just
okay,
did.
okay.
I didn't think it was going to be TJ Tampa.
It was between him or Lassiter.
See, I would have loved either pick though.
45 to the Saints. We had them taking Olu.
All right. And here's one of my guys throughout the whole process. If you're watching the combine stream, you remember. Let me take Chris Jenkins off the board right here to the Saints.
That would
Definitely
be
would be very happy with that on draft night.
So at 15, we have the Colts. They took Cooper DeJean in the first. Um, let's see. They do. Oh wait, I'm tripping. Give me Xavier Worthy. Anthony
Ooh.
Richardson's arm. Just send him deep.
Yeah,
I
no,
love it.
that again, I think Xavier, I don't know where he's expected to go at this point. Like, I don't know, like, really where the consensus around him is expected to be. I think it could be anywhere from literally first to like the end of the second, but I would not be surprised to see him go at this point or earlier.
No.
So,
47 to the New York Giants. And funny enough, Pretty Ricky tweets, the New York Giants aren't leaving the draft without a quarterback, and everything points to them taking one tomorrow. Sure sounds like Joe Shane is getting his ducks in a row to pick a QB.
interesting.
I think they're in on McCarthy. I think they are.
No, I definitely think they are too. And I'm going to say, with this pick right here for the Giants, I think, again, I don't know if they're going to rock with Evan Neal again at tackle. And they could kick him over, do whatever. And just how bad it was last year, it's almost like you don't have much time to even give it more time, especially if you're going to take a QB. I think we're gonna say we're gonna pull the trigger on Kieran Amagaji right here for the Giants.
Good pick. 48 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We had them taking Laiatu Latu. All right, let's take a look at their. I'm thinking I'm going to go safety here. Antonio Johnson, Andre Cisco. Yeah. Tyler Newman, you're a Jacksonville Jaguar. I
Oh
wanted
yeah,
them to
one of
take
my
Brian
guys.
Branch so bad last year.
That would have
And
been a money spot for sure. But I think Lions fans are very happy with
yeah,
how
yeah.
that ended up going.
49 to the Cincinnati Bengals. We had them going Jerzon Newton in the first.
All right. And yeah, I'm narrowing down because it's definitely between a few guys here. Um, what route do I want to go with them right here? You know what though? I'm not gonna overthink it too much. Again, one of my guys the whole process, Trey Hendrickson requesting the trade, but a guy who you could play on the interior or the outside. Let's get Darius Robinson off the board before he falls too far
I
here.
think this is probably where he's going to end up going, like around this range.
I do agree too, but for a certain teams that just really value the skill set he has and how he's like very, very like, you like scheme very like you can play him in a lot of different schemes. I feel like he could go earlier than this, but this is why they're like the range I expect him to go.
Eagles are on the clock. I am going to take um Edrin Cooper.
All right.
51 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We had them taking JC Latham in the first.
All right. Taking JC in the first. What do we want to do right here?
We're halfway through the 3-round mock.
I'm thinking, it only makes sense. I think, you can say pretty fairly and pretty safely that the Steelers need another corner. And one of our guys this whole process, Kamari Lassiter, is on the board right here.
Ooh, that would be
Yeah,
that would
we're
be a
gonna
really
take
good pick.
Kamari Lassiter, a Steeler. That sounds pretty good to me. I think that sounds like something we could definitely hear on draft night.
I really like Kamari Lassiter. I could see him going much higher than this. I think just like obviously, I don't know. I think he is 180. I do love like the kind of viciousness that he plays with.
No, he's definitely a very physical corner. He would fit very well on that Mike Tomlin defense.
52 to the Los Angeles Rams. We had them going Dallas Turner. Unfortunately, I you know, I'm trying to think of where we want to go here. I might add a guy. We already did address the line. That was kind of what I was looking at. Maybe adding a guy like a Jonah Ellis. But you know what? I think I know what I'm gonna do here.
What do you think right here?
I think I might go Michael Hall Jr. on the interior.
I would love that pick right there, though.
I think, bro, I don't like how they have Michael Hall Jr. ranked in the PFF. I think he's going to be a very good player at the next level.
No, I think he's going to go much earlier than I don't know why PFF has him this low. I think he's going to go much earlier.
53 to the Denver Broncos. We had them taking Bo Nix.
All right, I think Broncos fans would agree. You desperately need other DBs in that room, minus Surtain. And a guy we haven't really talked much about here, but the tape speaks for itself. This is a guy who, definitely put out a lot of good tape this past season. Kind of been a sleeper through the process, but I do think there's a very good chance he'd be the next corner off the board right here. And I would, and especially, in that Broncos defense, I think he fit very well. Let me get Andrew Phillips right here off the board.
54 to the Cleveland Browns. I think they're probably going to go. I'm between Junior Colson or adding a guy like a Brandon Dorless. So I think I'm going to go Brandon Dorless on the interior. I just think with the Browns, I just see them like completely beefing up their defensive line like they did last year and just trying to add as many pieces as they can.
No, I completely agree. I see the vision on that 100%. So
55 to the Miami Dolphins. We had them taking Graham Barton in the first.
all right. What are we thinking right here what are we thinking for the Dolphins?
Well,
I could go a lot of directions to be honest.
there's a
I really could.
lot of things you could do.
You know what? You know what? it's just this is one of those ones where it's like it doesn't like it makes sense, but it doesn't, but it does because of the fact that they're just all about that offense over there, and this would give you a different element to that offense.
Oh
Let
my.
me take Keon Coleman off the board right here to the
That would be
Dolphins.
very interesting. I would
That
love
would
to see
be
that.
that would be wild. So I'm gonna go with a little bit of a wild card here.
Big red zone threat. Um, Dallas Cowboys on the clock. I am going to give them Jonathan Brooks.
All right.
They desperately need running back help.
No, I think again, if Jonathan Brooks can come back healthy, special talent, like special talent. So you would be getting fantastic value here as long as he can stay healthy. And that makes my next pick so easy because the Bucks, we know they so desperately need a tight end, and we got one of my favorite tight ends on the whole draft right here, Jatavion Sanders, and you're getting him at really good value. Gotta love that if you're a Bucks fan.
58 to the Green Bay Packers. I'm going to give them Jaden Hicks. I think Hicks next to McKinney is a crazy safety duo. I'm so thankful he fell to this pick, and that's kind of why I was like, oh, please don't take a safety at 41. But I just think that would be a great duo for Packers fans. And obviously, like, you get a little bit of a size difference. I think Hicks is like a bigger guy. Yeah, 6'3", 212. I think McKinney's a little bit smaller, so.
No, I think that would be fantastic value if they don't get one of their, if they don't get a DeJean or if they don't get Newbin. I think that Jaden Hicks is definitely a great, consolidation prize, and you're with potentially a higher upside even in the NFL, where it's going to be, we have the missed tackle rate and all that's a little concerning right now, but stuff that can be churned out.
59 to the Houston Texans. We had them taking Peyton Wilson.
All right. And I'm not thinking about it too much, filling out that interior need. We got one of these guys that I've liked the whole process, and you love the RAS score. I mean, a guy who just burst with athleticism. We're going to take Rook Ohoro off the board right here.
60 to the Buffalo Bills. We had them taking Adonai Mitchell. They do need some linebacker help, so I am going to. I could give them. I was thinking Junior Colson, but I also do think taking a guy like Jonah Ellis could be an even better addition. But we saw how weak their linebacker core was once. Oh my God, what is their linebacker's name?
Wait, I'm
Uh,
sorry. No, once you
the
mean
Bills.
once uh, how am I for Benford?
No. That's their corner. I'm talking Matt Milano. Once Matt Milano went down, their linebackers suffered. So I am gonna go Junior Colson here at 60.
All right.
61 to the Detroit Lions.
All right. I was getting ahead of myself trying to think of my next pick here. I was all scrambled. Okay. But I'll tell you what, in that scrambling, I still didn't really come to too much of a conclusion of what route I want to go here for for the
We had him
for the
taking Kool-Aid in
Lions.
the first.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna say, yeah, no, we're gonna get a little wild here. But I love him. And the more that I get my hands on any tape from this, because it's hard really, it's actually pretty hard to get tape for this man because of how obscure where he went to school was. He's kind of an interesting, he's one of those players where he's kind of out there, and a lot of people don't even know about this man. But again, he's impressed in a lot of areas, especially the measurements. The tape's been good. Yeah, he didn't play at the highest level of competition, but he seems like he would be a really good fit on this Lions team. And I think, again, you could call this a reach, you can call it whatever. I like this value. You know what? Let me get Jalix Hunt, edge from Houston Christian, right off the board here to the Lions at pick 61.
Definitely need edge help opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. Um, 62 to the Baltimore Ravens. We had them taking Nate Wiggins. I do think they will probably add a receiver here, and that receiver is going to be Xavier Legette.
Ooh, I love it.
63 to the San Francisco 49ers. We had them taking Amarius Mims in the first.
All right. And I know sometime recently you took Kyrie Jackson to the Niners.
I
Well, I'm going to
did.
switch it up. I'm going to say, you know what? We're going Max Melton today. One of our guys. We're going
I
Max
love
Melton today.
Max. I love Max. 64 to the Kansas City Chiefs. They went tackle in the first round. So now they are going to get Ricky Pearsall.
Dude, the fact that he fell this far is fucking criminal. Like, what?
Criminal.
How did I let Slick Rick fall this far?
I'd take Ricky Pearsall at 9.
Dude,
No, I would. No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But I would love to have him on the Bears.
yeah, yeah, no, I'd say the fact that he fell this far is criminal. And to the Chiefs, oh my God, future All Pro. Ricky Pearsall to the Chiefs, future All Pro. This is fucking wild.
We are now in round 3, pick 65 for the Dallas Cowboys. We had them taking Jonathan Brooks and Zach Frazier.
All right. And I feel like, you know, all of the sudden, we're in a position where we're feeling really comfortable, probably taking a receiver off the board. And, a lot of different ways we could go about it. But, one of my guys is still on the board here. And I think he just, again, the guy critically slept on, who would fit very well into this Cowboys receiver core. Let me take Javon Baker off the board right here, bro.
Ooh, I like that. I like that. I think he could be one of the better receivers in this draft. I think he may go before a lot of people think he will actually go.
No, he's definitely in that archetype. He's definitely in that archetype.
So we had Mikey Sanders still, Jordan Morgan, and Marvin Harrison Jr. With that being said, I am going to add Jonah Ellis.
Ooh.
Yeah, Jonah
Ooh.
Ellis. I was between Jonah Ellis or Chris Braswell, but I'm going to add Jonah Ellis as a edge.
All right. I like that right there. I think that's good value.
67 to the Washington Commanders.
All right. What am
We
I
had
thinking
them
here?
taking Kingsley Sumatia, Chop Robinson, and Jaden Daniels.
All right. And I feel like you could pretty safely say with this next pick here, I think you'd be very happy taking a corner off the board. We got Kyrie Jackson sitting right here for us.
That would be great for
We're
them.
gonna go, yeah, we're gonna go Kyrie Jackson right here. We need the length. We need somebody who can come in and just hopefully be a really upside corner for it, and that's exactly what we're gonna bank on right here.
68, we had the Pats taking Troy Franklin and Drake May. They need everything under the sun, so I'm going to give them Chris Braswell.
Ooh,
He just
that's a
seems like a
Patriot right there.
Patriots guy,
Yeah.
right?
Oh no,
Yeah.
that's a Patriot right there for sure.
69 to the Los Angeles Chargers.
All right, and I'm gonna remind myself real quick what we did with the last Chargers.
Yeah, we did
So Lad McConkey.
Lad McConkey, Quinyon Mitchell, and Talise Fuaga.
All right, you know what? I normally am never one to double dip like this,
Oh,
especially
you
at this
already know
position
what this
group.
pick.
But
Oh,
you know it.
whoa, 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 whoa! Look at the guy 3 spots down, though.
See, oh man, see. I'll say this though. I think I'm much higher on the guy up top's
Okay, okay.
NFL upside than I am on the guy at the bottom. And as much as I think Harbaugh would be, just cheesing to have either, I think it does probably make more sense to take Roman Wilson. Definitely still very high on Roman's upside. I think that's the one that makes the most sense. That's where we're going to go right here.
New York Giants at pick 70. We had them taking Kieran Amagaji and Malik Neighbors. So now at 70, they're in an interesting spot. I do think they could possibly add a safety here. You know, I don't know why they don't have running back as a need.
I don't necessarily
Like
know why they don't either.
Devin Singletary, Eric Gray. No,
I mean,
no,
I guess
no, no,
I guess Singletary
no.
played good last year, but like, yeah, I feel like you want a complimentary guy.
Do we go Trey Benson or Jalen Wright?
I'm gonna say this. It's tough. It's so tough. But for the scheme that the Giants run, I feel like I would say
Benson?
it's tough. It's tough. I don't know. I was gonna say I feel like for the scheme they run, I think Jalen Wright might have the higher upside in that offense.
All right, we'll go Jalen Wright. 71 to the Arizona Cardinals. They took Jonah Ellis. Oh, God, they have so many picks. Jonah Ellis, Mikey Sanders still, Jordan Morgan, and Marvin Harrison Jr.
All right. And then you know what? For my next pick right here, another one of these guys where, it's kind of a toss up between who I think I would like next off the board. Is it Christian Mahogany? Is it Cooper Beebe? I went Christian Mahogany last time. We're gonna switch it up and go Cooper Beebe today.
I like that pick a lot. I think
Yeah, I
he'll
think
go
that
earlier than what he should go. Not because he's not worthy of it. It's more of like he played so long, he had injuries, but he's just so good.
no, I would say that the tape is definitely very, very good. And if you're the Cardinals, you're in a position where you got to fill out. You just have got to fill out that line.
72 to the Jets. Their only pick was Brock Bowers in the first. I feel like they kind of got to go offensive line here. And with that being said, I think I'm going to add Blake Fisher from Notre Dame at tackle.
Ooh,
Backup guy for now. He can step in. I think he'll be a decent NFL player. I mean, I don't know 100% what he's going to be, but I think he can provide, serviceable reps if one of the tackles goes down.
no, no, I definitely like that a lot. I definitely like that a lot.
73 to the Detroit Lions. They took Kool-Aid McKinstry and Jalix Hunt.
All right, and then it gets interesting really at this point because it's like the Lions are so well built, but it's really in so many areas that it's like, where do I want to go next? But
I
I'm gonna think
think
here for a sec. Like,
I think they could add a guard though, because Kevin Zeitler is only on a 1 year deal.
no, they definitely could. They
I
definitely could. But I'm gonna tell you this. They could. I'm thinking a little bit of a different route though. I'm double dipping again.
oh
I'm double
my,
dipping like crazy today. Dude, let me take Renardo Green off the board right here to the
they
Lions.
do need as much. I like Renardo Green at the from what we saw at the combine. He had a good year, and I just think like cornerback is the room they would have to double dip in.
No, that's exactly my thought. So it's like, yeah. And again, if we're the Lions, I think we're thinking we're knocking right on that door potentially
Right.
to go steal that Lombardi. It's like, let's do everything we can just immediately to fill out what we need to fill out.
The Falcons are on the board. They took Byron Murphy and Adisa Isaac. So I think I'm going to shy away maybe from defensive line with this pick. Um, I don't love the corners on the board. Now, this is a little bit of a risky pick, but I think adding a guy like a Jermaine Burton to that wide receiver room, they have a loaded room.
No, I love it.
75 to the Chicago Bears. We had them taking Romo Dunze and Caleb Williams. Where are we going?
All right. So, it's you guys could go a lot of different directions with this one. But I feel like, again, one of my guys that I've definitely liked through the whole process, definitely really, really solid on tape with a very pretty, like, I don't want to say very, but a deeper bag of moves and with the size to fit into the Bears scheme. I think, you know, especially since we haven't dipped in this position yet, let's take Austin Booker off the board right here.
I was going to say edge would probably be the way to go.
No, yeah, I think Austin Booker, I love the upside, especially in this Bears scheme. I think, yeah, I'm loving Austin Booker right there.
76 to the Denver Broncos. We had them taking Andrew Phillips and Bo Nix. I'm between adding a receiver and adding an edge. I do like the idea of maybe adding a guy in a Jalen Polk to that offense.
Oh, I think Sean Payton guy right there.
77 to the Raiders. They took TJ Tampa and Michael Penix Jr.
All right, just give me one sec here because I think in my head I've kind of already narrowed down where I want to go with this pick. I just want to double check myself and make sure that I'm not, tweaking here. But I do think I have an idea of where I want to go with this. And yeah, no, I know exactly what I'm going to do with this pick. We are taking Christian Mahogany off the board, and we are not thinking twice about it.
At number 78, we have the Washington Commanders. They took Kyrie Jackson. They took Kingsley Suamatia. They took Chop Robinson, and they took Jaden Daniels. So they have addressed quite a bit. I do think let's look at isn't their safety situation kind of dire right now?
Well, I'm sorry, I'm just getting ahead of myself in
Oh,
my
they got
next
Jeremy
pick.
Chin. They got Jeremy
It's
Chin, and then
it's not
Percy Butler.
terrible, but it's not like
I don't know if you want to roll the dice on Javon Bullard here, though. That's my only thing.
see, you know how I feel about Javon, where it's like it's definitely a roll of the dice player, but like, I think, you bring him down in the box here, you could definitely find a role for Javon.
I
It's
do
just
kind of like the addition of a Marshawn Nealon, though. Even though you already added Chop, after
double
trading,
dip in it. I'm for the double, and again, I've been saying Marshawn Nealon is one of those guys where Marshawn Nealon could really end up being so much better than where he gets drafted. Like I love Marshawn Nealon.
hold on, I'm gonna look at their guard spots. They got Allegretti and Cosme. I know people weren't all that. You know what? Know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna add an interior offensive lineman here. I'm gonna give him Mason McCormick.
I see. I like that a lot too, though. I think, like I've been saying, I haven't talked about him in a while, but of all these guys that are going to jump from the FCS and then into the league, I think Mason McCormick's one of those guys who actually can make the transition very, very smoothly. He has the size for it. He had the tape for it. If he can make the transition as smooth as it looked on film, I think he could definitely be a very impactful player for the Commanders.
79 to the Atlanta Falcons. They took Jermaine Burton. They took Adisa Isaac and Byron Murphy.
All right, well, I'll tell you what, you made it a little bit easier for me here. Now I appreciate you, bro, because you skipped on him. I'm taking Javon Bullard off the board right here, saying, you know what? We definitely probably want to fill out another safeties, namely that strong safety role. Again, and then now perfect scenario where we can be bringing him down in the box. We can use that range. Gotta love it if you're a Falcons fan. You got a pretty good value on him right there. And he's staying in this and he's staying in the home state.
80 to the Cincinnati Bengals. We had them taking Darius Robinson and Jerzon Newton. So two defensive line players. I think if we're looking at the tight end spot, which I think they could add, I don't know, they signed so many people, but I think Ben Sinnott could be such a good addition for them. I
You
also
can
think
you
they
could cut somebody. You can make cuts. Yeah, exactly. You can make cuts at the end of camp. Like if exactly. If you don't one of those guys you signed, like it wasn't big money or anything. Like
they did sign a running back though, right? Yeah, they have Zach Moss. Um,
that was a sneaky good signing. I got
yeah,
to
it
give credit where it's
was.
due.
I think what I'm yeah, I think I'm gonna add Ben Sinnott.
Ben Sinnott's one of my guys. So
Number 81 to the Seattle Seahawks.
all right. What am I thinking here for the Seahawks? Because I really could go a lot of directions. But you know what? I think, especially after what we saw at the combine, I love the way he was moving. He already was really rock solid on film. One of maybe the only USC defender I can really say that about. Uh, Let me take Kalen Bullock off the board right here to the Seahawks.
Yeah,
Prove that
I
secondary.
I
There's
like
definitely
Kalen Bullock. I when I was doing the film on the safeties, I just hope he puts on some weight.
no. I think that's definitely going to be priority number one. But you're getting a super rangy guy with fluid hips,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
the Seahawks so desperately need a safety. Like I think that it's probably the route they would go in this round.
82 to the Colts. They took Xavier Worthy and Cooper DeJean. Um, yeah, I don't. We're in an interesting spot. I think they could. They're all about RAS. We know that. Um, I do like the idea of possibly adding another running back. Um,
I was definitely thinking it too.
yeah, I know they love. I was thinking about maybe adding to that line as well, like that defensive line.
There's really no wrong way about it. Like I think they have big needs in any of those areas. So it's like,
I'm gonna give them Trey Benson. I feel like that
all
would be a
right,
good like complementary back
dude,
to
my guy. So
Jonathan Taylor.
all right, I love that. No, he definitely would be.
83 to the Rams. We had them taking, let's see, Michael Hall and Dallas Turner. So beefed up the defensive line.
Yeah, I think, and you know what? And the way that we went about this draft, the way things have been, I think at this point, if you're the Rams, you're gonna be saying, I'm just debating between two guys heavy right now. But you know what? It's coming to me more and more the more I think about it. I think they're gonna very desperately want to fill that other linebacker slot out, and we have Jeremiah Trotter with that pedigree still sitting right here. We're gonna take Jeremiah Trotter off the board right here.
84 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We had them taking Kamari Lassiter and J.C. Latham. So I do think they'll probably add a receiver in this spot. Um, hmm. I think for the value, I got to go Malachi Corley here.
Love
I'm
it. I'll
not a
say he had to come off the board. He had to come off the board sooner or
I'm
later.
not a fan of Tez Walker. I don't know.
See, I see the upside, but I also see the volatility, in the nicest way possible. Like he's definitely one of the most volatile, highly like touted receivers in this year's class.
85 to the Cleveland Browns.
All right, let me just I'm gonna because I know we went interior with our only other pick,
Yeah,
yeah?
so we went Brandon Dorless at 54.
Yeah, there's
I know who you were looking at.
dude. Could I still be looking at him though? Like
I'm
maybe?
gonna tell you right now, if not him, it would be a linebacker.
Yeah, it's
But the Browns don't pick again until 156.
you know what? I think if we're the Browns, it's like why not? Let's swing
Oh
for the like
my.
dude, let's swing for the fences. Let's say it's almost like we know we have a roster that can go the distance, and we're taking two young guys at this position who potentially, again, when our other contracts are up, these could be the two guys of the future right here in that interior. Dude, I don't care at all. You planted the seed, and I've just been watering it here and there. We're taking Tavondre Sweat off
It's
the
just
board
such a
right
good
here.
bro, he's just such a good fit for them.
No, absolutely. Dude, he's a good fit for like anybody that's running a 3-4. Like if you're like and the thing is what's funny is I know like the Browns are not. But the reality situation is he fits and I don't care with the way the Browns D line is built. He's the 1-4-3 team I would say where I don't mind it because it's like you have Garrett, you have Zadarius Smith, you have all these guys around you. Just soak up blockers and let our guys get one-on-ones. So it's like if he doesn't go to the Browns, just let him fall to a 3-4. But the Browns, regardless of the fact that they're a 4-3, I don't care. I would love to see him on this defense. Like you planted the seed, like I said.
I love Tavondre Sweat there. Texans on the clock. They took Rook Aurora and Peyton Wilson. I'm gonna do something a little bit crazy. Not really crazy, to be honest with you, but I do think adding a guy like a Cam Kitchens to their safety
Ooh.
rotation could be a good addition. I really like Cam Kitchens. He tested like shit, but oh well.
We have to have our RAS mold breakers, bro. You know how it goes.
At 87 to the Carolina Panthers.
So we had them taken. Okay, so if I'm not mistaken, is the only pick they've had so far Braden Fisk?
No, they had Brian Thomas Jr.
Oh, that's right. The trade up, the trade up. Okay, I almost forgot. Okay, so yeah, now we're at a point. You know what? I got a good pick right here. I got a good pick for the Panthers right here. And I think again, I've liked him through the process. I think this is kind of exactly what the range you're going to see him go. Cedric Van Pran off the board right here is, I think, great value to the Panthers.
I agree. I think they need like a more solid plan at center. Even if he plays behind Corbett this year, they need a succession plan.
No, absolutely.
88 to the Packers, who have they got two picks here in the next four picks. We had them taking let's see, Jaden Hicks, Christian Haynes, and JPJ. So I do think they'll probably. Ooh, this is interesting. Defensive interior. Let's take a look at what we got here on the board. Makai Wingo. I'm going to give them. I don't know. I was thinking about Leonard Taylor. That might be a little bit high for him. Mm,
I
they
wouldn't
don't.
mind it personally. Like,
Yeah, they don't really need to add any receivers at this point. Maybe they take a guy. I don't know. Maybe they take a tackle. This is a hard spot for them.
yeah, like they definitely could go Brandon Coleman also.
You know, I'm gonna go Roger Rosengarten out of Washington because if I remember right, his RAS score was kind of ridiculous. Like he's one of the most like athletic tackles they've ever seen. He was the guy that ran that like 4.51 40.
No, that isn't. No, that I think I see the vision on the pick for sure. So I think it's good selection right there.
89 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We had them taking Tavion Sanders and Jared Verse.
All right. And then I think I'm not going to overthink this one too much then. You know, the Bucks very desperately need to fill out that interior. One of those guys that I've liked throughout the process, and I still do. And again, he's not one of these guys you talk very much about, but like definitely a guy who can move some guys at that line of scrimmage. Let me get Tanner Bortolini
I
right
knew
here.
that's where you're going. I think he's going to go higher than people think, or like higher than other guards on the board.
No, no, absolutely. Again, he's one of those guys who we definitely could hear his name much earlier than this.
At number 90, we have the Arizona Cardinals. They took Jonah Ellis, Mike Sanders still, Jordan Morgan, and Marvin Harrison Jr. So, got a lot of. Wait, where did we take? We went. And Cooper Beebe. And Cooper Beebe. I knew we were missing one. Um, Honestly, I think they could probably end up going. Well, Marshawn Nealon on the board, I think that's kind of an easy pick for value wise. I mean, they need as much talent as they can get on that defensive line, and he's sitting there available to them.
No, yeah, no, I think that's fantastic value. Love Marshawn, so
91 to the Green Bay Packers. We have Roger Rosengarten gone. We have Jaden Hicks gone. We have JPJ gone, and Christian Haynes gone.
it's perfect because one of my low key guys from very early in the process, if you remember, still sitting here for me, and the Packers would be very happy to have him on the roster. We're taking or I said Jerryon. We're taking Jerry and Jones off the board right here. Pick 91, filling out that corner room.
I feel like that
Definitely
pick.
need to do it.
92 to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Tanner Bortolini just went off the board. Jatavion Sanders and Jared Verse. So they could also go interior offensive line here again. But I do think they could possibly add. I'm going to add Tommy Eichenberg here.
Ooh, that's interesting, but I like it.
93 to the Baltimore Ravens. We had them taking Xavier Legette and Nate Wiggins.
All right. What do I want to do here for the Ravens? What am I thinking right here? We could definitely go a few different directions. And you know what? This one's it's just fun. Like, and I think because it's kind of like where's he gonna go? But he would be like one of the perfect players to land in this Ravens offense for his size, the blocking, and just that new element he would add. Dude, I'm taking Johnny Wilson off the board right here to the
Ooh,
Ravens.
that would be kind of nuts.
That's kind of nasty, right?
Kind of nuts. 94 to the San Francisco 49ers. They took Max Melton and they took Amarius Mims. If we're taking a look at the Niners depth chart, they have they could add a wide receiver honestly because I don't think Debo and Ayuk are both going to be on the roster next year. I think someone is probably traded.
No, I completely agree with that.
So, with that being said, I could also see them waiting it out though at 124 taking maybe I just do it right here.
You got something cooked up?
Kinda. I was gonna say Luke McCaffrey, but I feel like he can go a little bit later.
Yeah, but at the same time, like as far as we know pedigree carries you a long way sometimes in the draft. Like,
Yeah, I'm gonna, I'm gonna actually. I don't know. I'm a tough, tough, tough. Um, I'm giving them a receiver here, and I just, I don't know, man.
you know who
I
to
don't
me
love
sounds like a
Devontae
Niner?
Walker. Who?
See, I'm gonna say because you know his skill set. I just feel like for the way they run an offense, I could see him just being really successful in this offense. Dude, I think Jacob Cowing might just be he
He
might
could be
just be a
good for
Niner.
them. He produced at Arizona too. Let's go. Let's go Cowing then. Let's go Cowing.
Dude, I'm much higher on Cowing than the consensus. I'll say that. Brandon Cooks 2.0. You know, that's what I've been saying.
95 Kansas City Chiefs. We had them taking Ricky Pearsall and Tyler Guyton.
Oh, right. And you know what? I love it because one of my guys here, one of my LSU guys, and I can take him off the board and feel pretty comfortable about, about the value right here. Dude, we're taking Makai Wingo off the board right here.
I knew he was gonna go probably to the. He's probably gonna go early fourth round. This is kind of the range where guys kind of just start going wherever. Not wherever, but you know what I'm saying. Like the value of where you're getting them matters less and less.
No, it's just about scheme fit and getting your guy. So
96 to the Jacksonville Jaguars. We had them taking Tyler Nubin and Leatu Latu. So Tyler Nubin, Leatu Latu. I think maybe they might want to. This is where I'm going to go ahead and give them Leonard Taylor out of Miami.
ooh, no, I love that.
Beef up that defensive interior. 97 to the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right. And we know T. Higgins still wants out. If you're the Bengals, you've got to start figuring out what route are you going with the receiver. You know, a guy who I think would be definitely a really solid replacement for for T. Higgins, even though he's not T. Higgins. I think that, a guy like this pairing with Joe Burrow, I like the sound of it a lot. Let me take Brendan Rice off the board right here to the Bengals.
Number 98 to the Pittsburgh Steelers. My laptop's in the way, so I can't see. Um, we had Malachi Corley going, and then we had. Oh, where is he? Malachi Corley, and we had Kamari Lassiter and J.C. Latham. So
They got themselves a good haul in this mock.
I am going to give them. um, I'm gonna try to give him like a guard. Who I'm trying to think between Zach Sinter and Trevor Keegan, because you'd want to kick him over to center, but the issue with Keegan, he has no. Yeah, neither of them have center snaps. Limmer, he is okay. I think he could. That's the thing is like at this point they just kind of need a center. Um, and like with the way the board has fallen, I just don't love where we're at.
Yeah, it's tough. It's kind of tough on the interior right now.
Maybe we just add a guy like a Braylon Trice. I
I,
was talking earlier about how the defensive line was getting older, and I think, this is great value for him.
no, it definitely is. A guy who's fallen down the board a lot throughout the process, but that's the thing is maybe just maybe Braylon Trice could the Steelers be this perfect spot where he needs to hone in, fix the errors in his game, really kind of, shape himself out. I think it'd be a fantastic landing spot.
The Los Angeles Rams are on the clock. They took Jeremiah Trotter, um, Michael Hall, and Dallas Turner. So a
Time to get a
lot on
little wild.
defense. A lot
Time
on
to get a little
defense.
wild, bro, because we're going offense, but it's not the position a lot of people would maybe think. But we're taking Spencer Rattler off the board right here.
I
Sit
don't.
behind
I like it.
Staff.
I like it. I like it.
Dude, I think Sean McVay is saying to himself, let me start to get that, let me get my Jordan Love. Let's start to think about the future here.
I like it a lot. With the last pick of the mock draft, we're sitting here with the Washington Commanders, who I can't find on ESPN, and they have an interesting room here. I think what I'm gonna do is they took Jaden Daniels. I'm thinking maybe we give them a guy in like Devontae Walker, or actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take. I'm between Patrick Paul and Dominic Pooney. Pass
See, I think Pooney makes so much sense too. Though. Like I agree, either one does. Honestly, either one does. I don't feel like I lean Pooney though.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Pooney. I
I
think
do. I liked
they
Pooney
have
at the
to
Senior
take
Bowl a lot.
they have to take as many shots that they can at tackle at this point. So this has been You Don't Know Ball Mock Draft Madness Day 54, our 3-round mock. Tomorrow we'll have one more final 1-round mock, and then we're going to be live during the draft, and then we will upload all our live reactions for each team. Thank you guys so much for watching and for making Mock Draft Madness so fun. Hope you have a great rest of your night. If you don't know ball and want to know ball, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, let us know in the comments your favorite, least favorite pick tomorrow, guys. Thank you so much.